All right, we're joined by Patrick Vignal of the Reuters news agency. Thanks for being with us. Another man who was at the match last night, France 24's very own Mark Thompson. We've gotten the reaction of the German coach. He's relishing the prospect of sending out the host nation like Germany did. We all remember at the last World Cup.
Yeah, and he has every right to be confident. Germany haven't lost to a host side since England beat them in 1966. This is what he said, referring back to the Brazil World Cup just 2 years ago.
It was similar for Brazil in the World Cup semi-finals 2 years ago. There was an entire country with 200 million people behind the team, and we did quite well back then, so we're going to try and do the same this time around.
So that time they ran out 7-1 winners. I have to say there was similarities in my mind when I was watching the France game last night, and they were 4-0 up by half-time, and part of me was thinking, this could be any score, this could be a cricket score by now. Credit to Iceland, though, they did come back into it. They showed all of the technique and all of the spirit that we've really enjoyed seeing from them so far this tournament.
All right, Patrick, of course, you're like me, you're old enough to remember 1982.
Yeah, Seville at semi-final, very bitter moment for France fans. There was another one in 86. It wasn't quite as painful because we lost and there wasn't that much to say. There's also the last World Cup. We lost to Germany in the quarterfinals, and that was very close. So yeah, France have got a habit of losing to Germany when it matters, but this time it might be different.
Why would it be different?
Because France are really on a roll after what happened last night. Everything seems to be clicking. Germany will be missing several important players. It should be tight. The home advantage should play to the full, and France are growing in this tournament. They were grinding out wins in the first few matches, and they're looking better and better, and I think they're ready for what will be a daunting challenge.
Of course, it is a tournament. There's a bigger aspect to all this, which is the last time the two sides met was a friendly, the night of the Paris attacks.
That is true. I think it will be on everybody's mind, obviously. Will it play a role? I'm not quite sure. But I think France winning in a cheerful atmosphere would be a symbol. And let's hope it will be the case, or even Germany winning. But anyway, it will be cheerful, it will be a party, and that's the most important thing.
Now, Patrick, let me ask you, because sometimes the French fans get criticized for not being as enthusiastic. We saw the Northern Irish and the Irish in the group phases. We saw Iceland last night. Has it had an impact on this nation? The enthusiasm that we saw from those Iceland fans now?
I think it's starting, and we felt it last night, and it was the same in '98, if you remember. The first few matches, the crowd were not that enthusiastic, and then the passion, the fervour grew, and it was the same last night. The Iceland fans did try their best with their hoo-hoo, but there were a few Marseillaise in the stands, and it was actually quite good.
Yeah, I think for the most part, we've been waiting for France to give us a performance like this. It's been 0-0s, 1-0s, edging along all the way, and they've never really shown. And last night, their big players really came out. We had Pogba, we had Griezmann, Giroud, Payet. All the players have been waiting to put on a performance like this, and that first half is what we've been waiting to see. Now the fans have seen it, maybe they'll start to believe as well, and they'll start to sing like we know that they can.
Like we know that they can, and there's also, I'm sorry, but there's a political aspect to this, which is we saw not just the French president, but also the prime minister in the box of honor at the match last night. The French president with his scarf around the neck. Would you say there's a lot riding on this for François Hollande as he heads into an election year?
Well, I think it's always the case when something like that happens and something positive. Of course, he wants to maybe not get involved, but at least show he's part of it and show he's behind the team, and that's all positive. Whether it's going to help him on long term, I doubt it.
And Iceland's president decided to be in the stands with the fans instead.
Yeah, well, you know, the Iceland president, he's like part of the family, you know? So it's slightly different.
Mark Thompson?
Yeah, it's actually interesting seeing these smaller sides. France has almost been the party pooper, if you will, having to kick out Ireland already, now having to kick out Iceland. If they get to the final, they might have to beat Wales, another team that everyone sort of seemed to adore as the tournament's gone on. But political-wise, it's always a victory in sporting tournaments has always led to a bump in numbers for the president. president, for a prime minister, for a country's leader. And I'm sure Hollande will be hoping that's the case this time around.
All right, so Mark, put your money down. What's your prediction now?
I think they're going to do it. My only bet is that both teams will definitely score. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I'm going with 3-2 France.
And does the winner of that win the tournament?
Yes, I have to say yes.
I'll go for tight France win. I also believe that whoever wins that game will win the tournament. And what France don't want is a penalty shootout, because Germany always win penalty shootouts.
Germany always wins, especially against France, as we were called twice. That happened in World Cups. And what about Wales versus Portugal?
It's a tough one to call. I suspect Wales might have the same problem as Iceland. They've gone as far as they could have hoped for, and maybe that will be one game too many.
Especially without Aaron Ramsey?
Especially without Ramsey, yeah.
I was just going to say Ramsey's going to be a huge loss for Wales. Their team spirit might take them through. I think the most important thing for them is going to keep it level for as long as they can, and try and have the quality of someone like Gareth Bale come through in the last 20 minutes, try and break away, get a goal. We haven't really seen the best of Portugal so far. If Portugal play as well as they can, then they should make it through. But if they play like they have done so far this tournament, Wales stand every chance.
Final question. Patrick Vignal, when this tournament began, we had strikes going on. We still do,
Yes.
in fact.
Yeah.
A gloomy mood, floods. There was hooliganism. What were you expecting, and has Euro 2016 exceeded your expectations?
I think everybody in France was desperate for a bit of fun. And we're getting it. I mean, despite everything, I mean, the weather's still rotten. But, I mean, yesterday was a party, and let's hope there will be some more.